Welcome, everybody. My name is Jerry Lynch. I'm commander of the VFW, and I'm blessed to be the commander of the VFW. We have, as you notice, our members are here for somebody by the name of Robert Bob Stoops. So,
Thank you.
we have a series of things that we want to give you, Bob, okay? And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Shane. Shane will be our MC, and Shane, have at it.
Commander. So I was told this was going to be a karaoke day, and that's all I was taking care of. So thank you, Commander, for that. So you like my tie? This is a period tie for you, Bob.
Yes. And I told you what I thought about it.
Yes, you did. You called me pretty. That for an old retired first sergeant, that's not good.
I made it masculine after that, though.
Well, you did. Thank you. I don't recall that. I was still struck by the first comment. Well, welcome. My name is Shane Rio. I'm Senior Vice Commander here at the VFW Post 115, Gilbert Perry, in Attleboro. Welcome to our honored guests, Bob Stoops, his family, friends, and comrades. Our dignitaries here, welcome. Normal tradition is to go through it all. I was told to expedite this thing. And our dignitaries are actually going to be presenting, so at that time I'll introduce them individually. So I'm extremely excited to be a part of this momentous occasion. I mean, think about it, 100 years. The first thing that came to my mind was, I've forgotten more than you'll ever know. How appropriate is this? You probably remember more than I'll ever know, actually.
I'm at the age when I'm losing it.
So a celebration of the man of the greatest generation in his 100th pre-birthday party. So he turns 100 on the 13th, which I think is not next Monday, the following Monday. Yeah. What an incredible milestone. And I'm really proud to be here with you. So if I would, we'll get things going here, and I'll start off with an opening prayer from my fellow VFW member, Ed Stanton.
Cover.
O God, source of all holy desires, right counsels, and just works, grant that peace which the world cannot give us, so that we may be obedient to your commands, and that under your protection we may enjoy peace in our days and freedom from fear of our enemies. We ask this in your great and holy name. At this point, I'd like a moment of silence for two of our recently passed comrades, Jim Franklin and Charlie Pender. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Ed. Okay, at this time, if you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So I actually had the honor of meeting Bob probably a year ago with my Uncle John. We do breakfast at Bliss Brothers. And you were coming in and we were going out. And what struck me about you, Bob, is you saw my hat, which was an Army hat, right? Veterans love it. We love our hats. And you engaged, we engaged in a conversation, brief though it may be. I remember walking away and thinking, you know, that gentleman there has a real way to make you feel important or special just in that brief engagement. And I remember being appreciative. And then Uncle John said, take a guess at how old he is. And I said, I don't know, 85, 86. He said, no. And he told me at the time, 99, 98. My dates are kind of fuzzy, but, and I was like, oh my God, he is sharp. It's amazing. So I appreciate that. I bet you that's happened a lot in your lifetime. You've made a lot of people feel special, and I appreciate that. So you were born March 13th, 1923, Indianapolis, Indiana. As this is a VFW post, I'll be concentrating on, veteran things and military things. United States Coast Guard, you enlisted March 18th, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois, as an apprentice seaman. Your schooling, Sound School, completed October 17th, 1942. Soundman Striker is what they were called, and they were known as, now they're known, what's that job known as?
Soundman,
A soundman? Okay,
at least it was then.
okay, yeah. There was another term I was thinking of. Sonar tech, that's it. So, you went overseas May 10th, 1944, Poole, England. And you were there till November 22nd, 1944. Patrol boat cutter 83375, or at the time when the president got you guys, when you fell under the United States Navy, U.S. Coast Guard number 15. So I'm going to just draw on a little bit of history here. It was fascinating. Call me naive. World War II, I knew that the Coast Guard was involved, but I didn't know that the Coast Guard was involved so far away and overseas. So I got this out of the U.S. Coast Guard History Program. I'd just like to read it real quick. U.S. Coast Guard Rescue Flotilla 1 was what Bob took part in. A few weeks prior to D-Day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt suggested that Operation Neptune needed a rescue flotilla, or so the story goes. I'm reading verbatim off the website. Some even claim that Winston Churchill lamented the losses in the channel would be prohibitive, and it was too bad that the Allies didn't have a designated rescue force on hand. To which the President responded, but we do, the United States Coast Guard. The Coast Guard had 83-foot patrol boats known as cutters and nicknamed Matchbox, the Matchbox Fleet. Because their wood construction and large gasoline tanks, they made them potential tinderboxes. Their mission at the time, anti-submarine along the east coast of the United States. 60 of the 83-footers were selected, and each cutter was transported piggyback on freighters to the UK, where they offloaded and formed into Rescue Flotilla 1, based in Poole, England, and modified for service as rescue craft. They were assigned to each of the invasion areas, with 30 assigned to the British and Canadian areas, and 30 assigned to the American sectors. During Operation Neptune Overlord, these cutters and their crews carried out the Coast Guard's time-honored task of saving lives, albeit this time under enemy fire, on a shoreline thousands of miles from home. On D-Day, 6 June 1944, the cutters made the journey across the English Channel. Once the invasion commenced, the patrol boats from the Matchbox Fleet had a hectic and dangerous morning as it became evident they were needed close to shore. There was no shelter as they worked alongside the assault boat crews and braved enemy fire and obstacles time and again. The cutters of Rescue Flotilla saved more than 400 men on D-Day alone, and by the time the unit was decommissioned, December 1944, they had saved 1,438 lives. They returned home November 22nd, 1944. Robert E. Stoops was honorably discharged October 5th, 1945. Time of service, 3 years, 6 months, 18 days. Discharge rate of pay at the time, I thought this was important, $100.80 a month. Imagine that. Audacious though it may be of me, I'd like to expand on a famous quote by Ronald Reagan. Some people spend an entire lifetime wondering if they made a difference in the world, but veterans don't have that problem. Thank you, Mr. Stoops. At this time, I'd like to commence with the presentations. Actually, before we move into that, Bob, I skipped right by. I didn't make my note. If you would please, if you care to say something
Sure.
about your dad.
Thank you.
Bob Stoops Jr.
Just want to thank the VFW, Jerry, become good friends past few weeks. Shane met today. Doing this is a good thing. So thank you very much, and give yourselves a round of applause, please. I have to mention Jerry's wife and her support staff as well, because they've done a lot of work as far as pulling together a lot of the food and the hors d'oeuvres and things like that to make it very professional, so I want to thank them as well. So, Dad's been out of the service now quite a few years, obviously. 4/4/44. What day was that, Dad?
Excuse me?
4/4/44.
Yeah, that was a wonderful date.
What happened that day?
Well, I got married.
How's that, huh? And we became of that, so thank God for that.
And it was your mother's fault.
Yeah, I know. Thank God for that. So, anyways, he got married in New York City. He snuck out for a few days, I guess, and was able to get married, and that was cool. And then after the war, he ended up going into Middle America. I think he started in Indianapolis. I think my mother hated it there. She wanted to go back to Chicago, so he went back to Chicago, set up a family there. Judy was the firstborn, Not too long after that, Lori, she's not here. She's out in California now. Came along like every 4 years or so. They seem to have a kid for some reason. And then Susie, she came along, and then I came along, and I thought that would be the end of it, but no, they decided to have another one, Barbie, so to make sure things were perfect, so Barbie rounded out everything for us. But anyway, so 4 daughters and a son, and had a great family. He lived in Illinois for a good part of his life. Was a jeweler. Went from Chicago to Princeton, Illinois, a little farm town. He built his own home there. He had a cornfield in the middle of nowhere. They built this nice little house, and there were no trees, And so now he has this fascination with trees, and so he moves out to New England, and that's all you got out here is trees, right? And so he plants trees everywhere he goes, and so I like cutting them down personally, no offense, but he plants trees everywhere. So everywhere we go, he got trees, and even to this day, he is over at Hope Garden now, and he has a porch and beautiful trees, and he just loves being around them. So we're very, very grateful for that. So lived in Illinois for quite a few years, I guess from maybe the 50s and 60s, and had an opportunity to come out east here to improve his career. And so I believe Johnston's brought him out here, or he ended up working for Johnston's, a jewelry company. And so he moves us all out here in 1969, and like a big corporation, what do? They sell the company out from underneath him. The year later, so he's out here without a job. But back in the 60s, Attleboro was the jewelry capital of the world. It was called that. It was the jewelry city, it was called, right? And so he made his career out here. He had no problem there with his artistic skills, his ability to design jewelry, to tool and die and all this stuff. So he was very good in that business and made a good go of it out here for us. So we lived out in Attleboro since 1969, had a house up there on Knott Street over near Bliss Brothers, and we still own the house. So Barbie's living there now, taking care of the house for him. Thank God she keeps good care of it for us. So we still have the house to go to for Christmas and things like that. But so it's been a good journey, and I just want to thank everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's incredible. All right, first up, Commander Jerry Lynch, presentations. If we could take some photos here. There he is.
Have it?
I Jerry. Good to see you again, and often.
Often. We want to make it often. We have something here from the White House. Not from the president, not from any cabinet, it's from the staff of the White House. They, when I called, she said, "What do you want, presentation?" I said, "How about a birthday card?" Okay, and all the real people who signed that birthday card, Bob.
Let's take a photo.
Oh, yeah. Bob, want to come up with a second?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. What are you going to do? My man.
Where you want?
Right ahead. For pictures.
Better get used to this.
Should we smile?
Oh, you have to, okay. Something that we just found out too. Bob had to take another driving test. He passed! Congratulations, Bob. Good.
That felt real good.
You want to hang up here for a minute?
Thank you.
Okay. Could we have VFW District 6 Commander and Post 115 Adjutant John Moore come forward, please? You know, Bob, I know there's people in here that couldn't pass the driver's test now. I'm just saying.
Met you earlier, and it was lovely. Thank you.
Bob, it's a pleasure to present this to you. This is from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It's Robert Edward Stoops. On behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I congratulate you on the joyous occasion of your 100th birthday, and we commend your dedicated service to the United States Coast Guard. This 4th day of March in the year 2023, and is signed Maura Healey, Governor, and Kimberly Driscoll, Lieutenant Governor.
Well, isn't that lovely? Now, thank you.
We'll try and get you through this, Bob. Next, could we please have Massachusetts, Bristol, and Norfolk District Senator Paul Feeney come forward, please?
Well, thank you. Thank you, Shane. Sure thing. Wow. How's this feel? Pretty amazing, huh?
Recognition? You know, it's good and it's bad. You don't like it, and yet you do like it.
I heard that about you. Yeah, you don't like the accolades. Bob, it is great to be here with you
Thank you,
this
sir.
afternoon and with your wonderful family, generations of your family that are
Yeah.
here, and also your extended family, the Post. The work that you all do each and every day to be there for each other. Thank you, Jerry, and to Shane, and to all the members of this Post for telling the stories not just through your words, but through your action by coming together for people like Bob and celebrating his birthday. And to your extended family again, the community of Attleboro. It is my pleasure to represent the city in the state senate. And there are very few times that I get stopped in my tracks for an event. You know, I go to a lot of them. But an event like this, for a man like you, we're celebrating not only your birthday, not only your service, which we've heard about, but for who you are as a person. And we've been reaching out and hearing from people to tell us about Bob, and it's always the same: humble, hardworking, good, decent man, faithful. And I thought as I was coming in, how impressive that is, not only you know, at 100 years old, you know, to be passing your driver's test, which, you know, if you're gonna go work for Uber this week, it seems like you may find some time to do that, but.
I might do that.
Yeah, right, make a few bucks. But it's impressive that, you know, not only at 100 years old to be doing things like that, but to be flourishing and inspiring other people. To be, you know, to have your family here, to be inspiring others around you, it's just, it's an amazing thing to see. And You know, from what I hear, Bob, you're an incredible man. So with that,
Thank you, sir.
we want to offer you an official citation from the Massachusetts State Senate. And I'll read it. It says, "Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Robert F. Stoops in recognition of the happy occasion of your 100th birthday and your dedicated service to the United States of America as a member of the U.S. Coast Guard. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success and many more birthdays, I will add. That this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to and a copy thereof transmitted by the clerk. It is signed by the Senate President of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Karen Spilka, and offered by a very proud State Senator, yours truly, Paul Arfini, March 4th, 2023. Happy birthday, my friend.
Wow. Beautiful, wonderful.
Can I say a little something here?
Absolutely.
This hat here, I'm wearing it today, but tomorrow it will not fit because my head will be so big.
Just between you and I, that's part of the plan to get you out of here so we can fit you through the doors. We gotta get you out of here early.
You're way ahead of me.
Okay, could we have Massachusetts 2nd Bristol District State Representative Jim Hawkins, please?
So first of all, I've got to say this post is one of my favorite places in the city, and they know I've said this before. This is a really good group of people, very apt and doing the right thing.
They are.
They did it earlier in their careers, and they're still doing it now, taking care
Very
of people.
cordial, too.
Very much involved in the community. And I think I met you for the first time just over here, about half an hour ago, and I got the same reaction as Shane. You make people around you feel
That was
good.
not the first time, sir. It was on Knott Street.
Oh!
You were campaigning.
Oh! Now you've raised the bar here. But
He has a memory. Be careful.
I guess. I guess. Well, I was already impressed, but now. So anyway, you've got, if there's three offices, three parts of our government in the State House, you've gotten from the Governor's office, from the Senator's office, and I'm bringing this from the House of Representatives.
That's very nice of you, sir.
And I will read it as well. It be it hereby known, and this is signed by Ron Mariano, who's the Speaker of the House, and by me as the State Rep. Be it hereby known to all that Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Robert F. Stoops in recognition of 100 years of memories, experiences, and celebration of youth. Thank you for your service. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and express the hope for future and good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Signed on the 4th day of March 23 by Speaker of the House Ron Mariano and by me, State Rep.
Thank you very much.
This is a sweet spot in the job, so thank you.
Really is.
So thank you.
Everybody.
Thanks. Thank you for remembering.
We had a great conversation.
Moving right along. Acting City of Attleboro Mayor Jay DeLisio.
So, thank you. Thank you all for sharing your dad with us today. Bob, thank you for your tremendous service during the World War II. We talked, growing up, I heard a lot about the Greatest Generation, and when I got married, I spoke with my father-in-law an awful lot about the Greatest Generation, and you were the epitome of what the Greatest Generation was all about. And for me, this is a true honor to be with you.
Thank you,
today.
sir. Thank you.
I do have a certificate of recognition from the City of Attleboro. Before we do that, I do want to recognize Mayor-elect Simone, Councilor Waterman, and Councilor Angelo, who are here from the municipal government as well. Certificate of recognition, Robert F. Stoops, in honor of your 100th birthday on March 13th, 2023. The citizens of Attleboro recognize this milestone and wish to congratulate you and pay tribute to you at this important time in your life. Signed and sealed the 7th day of March in the year 2023 by me, James DeLisio, Acting Mayor of the City of Attleboro. Hi, Jay, we haven't met yet. Other one, Kathleen, Ty, Mike, would you like to come up with us? Resolution of congratulations for Robert F. Stoops from the Attleboro Municipal Council. Whereas Robert F. Stoops will be celebrating his 100th birthday on March 13th, 2023. Whereas Robert bravely served with the United States Coast Guard in World War II. Whereas Robert continues to be an active member of the Attleboro community, including years of compassionate and energetic contributions, which, speaking of those contributions, you were given a challenge coin and a pin, and he's like, I designed those. I made those. So that was pretty interesting. Now, therefore be it resolved that the entire municipal council of the city of Attleboro wishes to extend its joyous congratulations for Robert's 100th birthday and wish him continued good health and happiness. Signed and sealed the 7th day of March in the year 2023 by Todd Cobus, Vice President. So congratulations.
That's wonderful, sir.
From the municipal council.
Can I say
Here we go. This is your show.
Those four people standing up here who serve this community and the state, they should have an applause from all of us. I'll tell you, that looked beautiful.
Next up, could we have the Massachusetts State VFW Commander, Michael Raymond. We actually have quite a contingency here from
That is really
the state
something, isn't it?
VFW, and we thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Can I get that coin back? Can I get the coin back for a second? Absolutely.
So, first I want to apologize to you, Bob. If you all saw, we have these constant snowstorms all across America. VFW National sent a citation from Kansas City, Missouri. That's where our headquarters is. That
Not
one?
yet.
The yellow one. One more to go. There it is.
There you go.
We actually had a citation bigger than all these other citations, and a very nice big padded portfolio for you from the Commander-in-Chief. Unfortunately, it got delayed with FedEx in somewhere in Missouri or wherever FedEx is. Well, I think they're in Memphis, Tennessee. I think their headquarters is. So your citation's sitting at Memphis Airport at the moment. So I apologize for that. But on my behalf, as the state commander, I'd like to present you with the state commander's challenge coin to congratulate you for having reached the challenge of 100 years and wishing you many, many more.
That's very kind of you,
So
sir.
thank you. Congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you.
And God bless you. I mean,
He has.
I hope I'm as good as, I hope I'm in his health at age 80. Honestly. As I told Bob earlier, let me just say, Coast Guard, you know, they get a lot of trash. They get trashed a lot by the Army and the Marines and the Air Force and the Navy especially. I grew up in Miami, Florida, and I can tell you, I would probably not be here today. I might be in a Cuban jail because my dad was a marine biologist. We used to go out on the boat in Key West all the time, and we had one instance which I explained to him. Our boat was dead, and it was about 3 in the morning, and we coasted for hours and hours. And my dad figured out, based on his map, he goes, I think those lights in the distance, and he goes, based on my figuring out whatever the Navy device is, you can figure out distance. I'm not a sailor, I'm an Army guy. He goes, we're about 5 miles from Cuba. And he goes, my dad doesn't like to ask for help, but he got on his radio, called the Coast Guard for help. They were there in about 18 minutes from wherever they came from, and they got, a chopper was over us. Are you okay? Yes, we're okay. We're sending a cutter or something to get you. 20 minutes later, the cutter was there, and they towed us all the way back to Key West. So thank you to your branch of service for saving our butt. So I honor the Coast Guard. So thank you. Congratulations again. All right. Thank you.
I have a quick comment about Coast Guard at this point. Am I speaking too often here? No. At a bar in England, having a pint of something, brother. And the gentleman next to me there said, oh, you're in the service. I said, yes, sir. Where do you serve? I said, I'm in the Coast Guard, sir. Oh, I didn't know they come way over here. So that's how the Coast Guard took a lot of razzing. And I'm used to it.
American Legion Commander and fellow VFW member Phil Audette.
Right, Phil,
How you
good to
doing?
see you again.
Yes, again, you got it. I met Bob 3-4 months ago
Yeah.
at one of the lunches.
Yeah.
You had the lunches.
Yeah. And we ended up in a conversation about Normandy.
Yeah.
How you been there? But my perspective was not his. And so we had a long conversation. I learned a lot from this gentleman. Now, I have a citation here from the American Legion for you.
Thank you, sir.
But after all the words I've heard out here, I don't think I can beat any of them. But you may like this. This is the Welcome Aboard Sailor.
Oh,
Now, the uniforms are different now, but when they cast this one, it was from World War II.
oh, did they really?
Yeah. And so the Coast Guard and the Navy were almost identical. So, and that's in memory of the Navy Museum out on the West Coast.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
and that's for you,
Thank you, sir. Very kind.
okay? So I'll read this and I'll get out of the way.
Hey, if you like.
No, you get the job. American Legion Certificate of Appreciation. This is a certificate of appreciation gratefully presented to Robert Stoops. In recognition, it's a sincere appreciation about saying it. Should put my glasses on. Service and assistance which you contributed to the advancement of the American Legion programs and activities dedicated to God and country. On your 100th birthday, by the Department of Massachusetts, on March 4th, 2023, signed by myself, the commander, and Richard Fredette,
Wonderful.
the adjutant.
Thank you, sir. You're very kind. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's lovely, yeah. The only difference between, if I, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Coast Guard and the Navy uniform was, at least when I was in the service, was a small white silver shield about the size of a quarter
Yep.
that the Coast Guard wore on their left arm. Otherwise,
They
the
still do,
uniform,
huh?
the uniforms were identical.
Yeah.
They're identical. Yeah,
They're identical now,
they are,
yeah.
yeah.
Unless they went to the, well, the dress uniforms I know are a little different, but I know Henry, I'm trying to think what Henry's, because I know the Navy went to some fatigues
Yeah.
for their normal working clothes. So I don't know if the Coast Guard have done that. I don't think they've done that.
When he gave me the citation, I couldn't help but remember, in 1941, when I joined the service, that difference made a difference in the uniform. When I saw that uniform at the recruiting center, it was on a cardboard, full-size sailor by the doorway. And I said, yeah, this is for me, I'm joining the Navy. It didn't happen.
Well, the Navy fooled me. I stayed in for 21 years.
American Legion member Ron Tyler, please.
Hi, Ron.
Funny meeting you here.
Good to
You
see you.
received, it's always good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
You received a lot of challenge coins today, which is good. But I have something that was made the year you were born.
Oh, for crying out
It's a silver dollar, 1923. And what they used to call these, if you remember, was the peace dollar.
No, I didn't know.
Okay, it was right after World War I, when they started minting silver dollars again. They made the silver dollar. It was called the peace dollar. And I went through some of my collection.
Yeah,
And I go, geez, there's a 1923.
isn't that interesting?
So I go, I think I know somebody that could really use this. And I want to tell you something. I think you're in better shape than the coin. But there you go, my friend.
Thank you. I gotta be careful here because, my son's a coin collector.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, he just let me borrow it for a couple of months. Thank you, Bob. And it's always a pleasure to see you. I bump into Bob like 2 or 3 times a week over at La Salette. And he is like the most gentle soul I've ever met in my life. And we always find something to talk about.
Generally about our wives, isn't it?
Absolutely. We both lost our wives a while back. And it's a good place to have common ground.
Yes, it is.
So thank you, Bob.
Thank you very
And,
much.
I think that's
Very
the
nice.
best coin you got today.
I did see your eyes light up. Don't deny it. VFW Post 115 member Richard Oliver. Dick?
You know, I call you the Reverend all the time.
I know it, it's good to see you
Yeah, I
again.
remember you from the Life Care.
Yeah.
I hate to do this, but you got, here's another commemorative coin, but that's 100 years. That's what I'm celebrating, 100 years.
Thank you very, very, very much. Doggone, that's lovely.
That's from the veterans of Ottawa.
Thank you very much.
All of it.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have a representative from the U.S. Coast Guard here.
Here on behalf of Rear Admiral Mauger, the 1st District Commander, who wanted me to pass, thank you for your service. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you very much,
and,
sir.
presenting with this challenge coin here.
Oh, my goodness, thank you
And
very
we also
much.
have, we're short people right now, we have 4-year enlistment papers in the back.
And that's it for the presentations.
Thank you very much.
But what I would like to do is the official song of the United States Coast Guard. I would like to play that, so if military members could please stand. It's called Semper Paratus, which in Latin, always ready, is a song that proclaims the discipline and valor of the United States Coast Guard in peaceful or stormy seas. This group of brave men are always ready to overcome and conquer whatever obstacle comes their way. And something was said to me, Ron actually said it to me today. It's a saying in the Coast Guard, you have to go out, but you don't have to come back. And that speaks to what gentlemen like you and the Coast Guard do for us. So,
Thank you.
it'll get louder.